When I first watched the video, I was a little bit confused until she actually explained it, because usually I feel like, even if I am hearing something and not like listening, like she explained, I feel like my brain processes it. It's just whether I choose to acknowledge it. But I see where she's coming from in the sense that I guess choosing to acknowledge it makes you really understand it more, which is where the listening aspect comes into play. As far as the article went and the earpiece questions are, where it says, "Are you listening now?" I feel like yes and no. Sometimes I do like really attempt to really listen, but I'll lose focus. So my intention will be to really listen to something and process it, but then like my brain, because of the way I was just made, my brain will literally just like go on a tangent, and then I hear it as background noise, but I'm not actually listening anymore. But my intention is always to listen. I just kind of have to pull myself back into focus. Are you hearing while you're listening? I feel like I'm always hearing while I'm listening, because in order to listen, I feel like you have to hear. Do you remember the last sound you heard before this question? Probably that. Just a bobby pin fell on my chair as I was playing with it. So right before I read that question, bobby pin fell. What will you hear in the near future? My roommate is supposed to be coming home in like T-minus 10 minutes, so I'm probably just gonna hear the door open. Can you hear now and also listen to your memories of an old sound? Yes and no. I feel like sometimes I'll hear something and it makes me remember, so that new sound kind of turns into the old sound, if that makes sense. So yes. What causes you to listen? The main thing that causes me to listen is interest. I definitely have to be engaged and interested in what somebody's either saying, playing, or creating as far as sound goes in order for me to actually listen to it. I feel like if I'm not interested at all into it, I'll try to give it a chance, but I won't be as inclined in as much as in an urge to listen. Like if I'm really interested in something, I'll try and kind of like force myself to sit still and actually listen to it. Whereas if I'm not interested, I mean, that force of trying to listen to understand is there, but the desire to listen is not. Therefore, it causes me to listen less, I guess, for a lack of better word. Do you hear yourself in your daily life? That depends. That really just depends on what's going on around me. Depends on what environment I'm in. There are environments where I'm completely silent, kind of in the background, and I really won't say much. And then there's environments where I am more so the leader role and I kind of take over and my voice is the main one being heard, or I am a major part of what's being heard. Whereas there are other environments, usually environments I'm not as comfortable in, where I'm just kind of like there, and if I'm asked a question then I'm heard but not really. Do you have healthy ears? That's actually a funny question, because as a kid, I really talked super, super, super loud. So I always had my hearing checked, always had to get checked out to make sure I wasn't just kind of like